Welcome to the first in a series of iPrep webinars on graduate school admissions. Today we're going to be talking about writing your essays for graduate school applications, specifically for law school admissions essays, graduate school in general, and also business programs, MBA programs, and my presentations will be in English. My colleagues' presentations will be in Korean, so it would not be a English only session, in case you're wondering. And we'll get started first with the law school personal statement and how to best make yourself stand out in your law school application, if that is what you're considering. So let me share my presentation. All right, so let's get started. If you're considering applying to law school, that means you're most likely still in an undergraduate program, and you have some interest in the law, which would be a great place to start. But just exploring the possibility, exploring the option is just a very healthy exercise as an undergraduate student, because you have many options. Graduate school being one of those, and law school is a great option. You can enter law school straight out of undergraduate. In fact, most students do, and it really opens the door to many different possibilities, many different opportunities in terms of career and even potentially further study as well. But most likely after law school, you would enter the legal workforce somewhere. All right. So the importance of the personal statement. It helps you stand out. It takes the admissions committee beyond the numbers of your application. The numbers being the grades, the test scores, your LSAT score, the grades in university. It helps you differentiate yourself from the rest of the applicants that are applying to the law school of your choice, or the law schools that you're applying to. It's also an opportunity to showcase your skills, your writing skills, your ability to write clearly, your ability to argue, your ability to think critically. These are all part of the toolkit that will enable you to succeed in law school as well. And by showcasing that on your personal statement, it really helps you differentiate yourself from your classmates. Let's see, 1 second here. Okay, so guidance on the personal statement from the law school admissions council. They stress the importance on your qualifications beyond your grades, beyond your scores. Again, the focus is differentiating yourself from other candidates, and also they mentioned that if you have personal experiences or accomplishments that can set you apart from other students, it should be mentioned in your essay, and you should really tell how that experience or accomplishment is of value to you and can be of value to the law school. Guidance from the law schools. These are actual prompts from the law schools. From Stanford, their prompt is, please describe what aspects of your life experiences, interests, and character would help you make a distinctive contribution to Stanford Law School. So this is a pretty wide angle prompt. It's a pretty wide perspective. There's almost anything you can write about that, as long as you can explain how that makes you distinct from that applicant pool and how you can contribute to Stanford Law School. It's an example of a kind of a wide angle prompt. Harvard, on the other hand, their prompt is pretty narrowly focused. They're asking, what motivates you to pursue law? How does attending law school align with your ambitions, goals, and vision for your future? This is basically asking, why do you want to go to law school? And there are many different ways to answer it, but the topic is, the why. Why do you want to attend their law school? Choosing a compelling topic, selecting your focus, make it personal and unique. Choose a topic that reflects something unique about your background, experiences, perspectives. It should be personal, relevant to your desire to study law. Being authentic is very important. Authenticity can be sniffed out very easily by any experienced reader. So it's very important to be genuine and, just avoid saying whatever you think the admissions committee just, what they want to hear. Avoiding overdone topics. The cliche, I want to be a lawyer to fight for justice. It's just been so done so often and kind of done to death. I think it's unless you can bring a really unique, critical new perspective to the fight for justice, that's a topic that you want to steer clear of. And again, an example of a compelling topic. Another example is talking about how your interest in the law was sparked. What caused you to have an interest in the law? What values, what perspectives can you bring in to the law school that would benefit the law school, your classmates, and the pursuit of a legal education. So structuring your personal statement, what is the actual structure when it comes to writing your first draft? A very common outline structure is having an introduction, the body paragraphs, supporting evidence, and then a conclusion. In the introduction, you want it to be an attention grabber. You want it to be a hook. You want the reader to desire to continue reading your statement. You can start with anecdote, personal story, something surprising about yourself, something unique or just something thought-provoking. But this will also introduce the theme of your essay. So the following paragraphs will be continuing to develop this introduction to your statement. For the subsequent paragraphs, you're organizing them, focusing on a specific aspect of your story or argument, using transitions to maintain smooth flow from paragraph to paragraph. Supporting evidence, you want to use specific examples, experiences, and achievements that support your story. This again is evidence of your ability to think critically and think logically. And finally, your conclusion, you want your conclusion to be strong. You want it to connect your story back to your desire to attend law school. And you also want to emphasize how your experiences have prepared you for the challenges of law school. Because 3 years of law school will be challenging. So if you can show in your personal statement how you are prepared by these challenges for law school, that will give you a step up in the application process. So some tips on writing style, writing with clarity and writing with precision. You may remember, probably some of these will sound very familiar to you from your university writing course, but it's good to go over again just to emphasize the importance of these kind of crucial tips. You want to be concise. There's a word limit. There's a page limit to a law school admissions personal statement. So you don't want to use unnecessary. You don't want to use unnecessary words. 1 second. Okay. Active voice. I'm sure you've heard this. Active versus passive voice. You always want to use active voice. It's more dynamic. It's more clear. You want to say, I did something, we did something, rather than this was done by us, this was done by myself, by me. Specificity. Instead of vague statements, you want to use concrete examples. If you did some volunteer work, you want to say you volunteered at this such and such clinic rather than something general like I enjoy helping people, right? This is a lot more specific. It shows that you have a very clear interest, and it's not just something that maybe might be just thrown in there as a filler statement, right? When it comes to tone in your personal statement, you want to maintain a professional, a formal tone, but not so much that the statement sounds like it was written by a robot, right? You want some personality to show through, but you do want to be formal and you want to be professional, because this can be an indication of how you may write in the future as an attorney, how you may write a brief or some other legal document. All right. So in your personal statement, in your application to law school, you want to demonstrate your fit to that particular law school. So in order to do that, you need to research the schools that you're applying to, and you need to show in your statement that you've done this research by referencing different aspects of the law school that you're writing a statement for, whether it's a particular type of program, a particular type of legal clinic, whether it's whether it's professors at the law school that you're particularly interested in studying with. If you have a personal connection to a law school, you should definitely explain why you're particularly drawn to that school. For example, if you're an engineer and you've worked in technology companies for a number of years and you have an interest in intellectual property law, IP law, and the school has a very strong IP law program, it'd be great to show that you have this connection to their program and this interest to their program. Another example is if you're particularly interested in a particular school's commitment to human rights. That's another area that is can be a very standout feature of your application, particularly with human rights. It doesn't tend to be a super high earning area for attorneys, but if you have an interest in human rights due to some experience you've had in the past, and you can contribute that perspective to the school and as a future human rights attorney, that's a big plus for your application. I mean, that can be a big plus, but there are many different ways to demonstrate fit. These are just a few examples. Again, avoiding generic statements. It just sounds inauthentic, right? It'll just, if you make generic statements, it just comes across as flattery. So you need your reasons to apply to a particular school to be specific and to be personal. So it's authentic. It's a part of your story and your reasons for applying to that school. When it comes to revising and editing, you probably have some experience with this, but I'm sure you do. But it's good to go over this again. You want to polish your statement. You want to go through multiple drafts because it's an iterative process. You're gonna improve your statement each time you go through a draft. Proofreading, that should be common sense for you by now. Grammar, spelling, punctuation, phrasing, repetition, and feedback. Feedback on your drafts is a very important part of the writing process and helps you improve with each iteration of your draft. If you've worked with a fellow classmate on proofreading each other's papers and you've gotten good feedback from him or her, then definitely work with that student on getting feedback. If you've gotten particularly good feedback from a certain professor, you should definitely approach him or her about helping you with your graduate school essay. This is also a good opportunity to lay the groundwork for asking that professor for a future recommendation to graduate school. So that's a little plus from working with one of your professors on your essay or essays. Also, practically all universities have writing centers, and that's a resource that's there for you to utilize. It's, I think, too often in universities the writing centers are underutilized, so they're usually happy to help in proofreading and giving you feedback on graduate school application essays. Consistency, again, is important in all your writing, but especially for graduate school application essays, you want to have a consistent tone and voice. And one way of ensuring that you have a consistent tone and voice is by going through multiple drafts. All right, pitfalls to watch out for with your law school admissions essay, your personal statement. Being too vague. You need to be specific about your experiences, your goals, your interests for attending a particular school. You want to always be specific, and just name names, just particular programs, particular clinics, particular professors. You don't want to rehash what's already in your resume or what's already in the other parts of your application. You want to add another dimension to your application, and you can do this through your personal statement. So if you're kind of going over what's already in the rest of your application in your personal statement, this is going to be an opportunity lost. So you want to capitalize on this opportunity to add a new dimension to your application. Controversial topics. You don't want to talk about issues or topics that the reader may not agree with or may have some strong opinion about. So it's always good to avoid controversy. For example, in the U.S., immigration is a pretty controversial topic, and in many parts of the world as well. So if you mention a strong political leaning with regards to immigration, the reader of your essay may have the opposite leaning, so you don't want to get into that kind of issue. It's just best to avoid anything controversial. Overconfidence and underconfidence. Both of these are perceived as weaknesses. You want to know the value that you bring to the law school. You want to convey that you believe in yourself, but that you're not full of bravado. You're not overconfident, and you're not like a brash kind of character. All right, and final tips on your personal statement. As I mentioned in a previous slide, you need to go through multiple drafts. It's not just one. It's not just two, 3, 4, even 5 or more drafts. Your statement's going to improve each time. And in order to do so, you need to start early. Being yourself, again, being authentic. The admissions committee wants to get to know you, so this is your opportunity to convey to them who you are and why you are, and ask you why you can be a future asset and contributor to their program. Trust in the process. Believe in the value of your story. What you've done, what you've been through is valuable. Others can learn from it, and you can convey that in your personal statement. So that is the end of my presentation on law school personal statements. And now I believe you're going to have a presentation on graduate school admissions.